Over 6 months ago, I started my own online business. In this video, I'll be sharing with you all the lessons that I learned. I'll be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, other content creators and big business owners can look back in hindsight and say, yeah, it was tough, but I powered through it. But what about the people that are currently in the grind right now? So if you've been wanting to start your own business and you're wondering what that's like, you're just curious in general, or you're in the grind right now and you just want to compare notes like, should it feel this way? This video is going to be for you. All right, let's start off with the toughest lessons. Number one, consistency is not enough. You can think like you're putting in the time, that's all you need to do. No, it could be in the completely wrong direction. You're not going to have a payoff. That's it. It could be very inefficient where maybe if you kept on doing it for a long time, you get a little bit of results, but it's that unknown factor. And you still got to keep on taking a look as to what you're doing and pivot if you need to. Number two, you probably won't see results, especially right away. In fact, you're going to be spending a lot of your time and even money without much in return, if anything. So then when you'll be thinking like, I should have just gotten a part-time job perhaps, I'd be way further ahead than I am right now. Or you can see even positions, part-time jobs related to what you're doing, and you'll be like, I could have just done that instead. But again, it comes down to you building something for yourself, your own formula, your own component here, and it is a longer term vision, not just within the first 6 months or 1 year. You're going to question what you're offering. Is it truly valuable? Like, okay, in my case, what do? I help people create vision mind maps. It's very effective. I love it because it helps people understand, get clarity. It can help out with kicking bad habits. If you're always like an overthinker, it's very helpful as well. And also in terms of having measurable progress as to what you're looking to do. So got a website, got the testimonial. If you're interested in that, hit me up for a free call. I'd love to work with you. So that's my own little mini plug here. But that is what I'm offering. Yeah. But if somebody doesn't sign up for it, doesn't do it, you're wondering, is that truly valuable? Am I just naive? Am I kind of just pushing what I think is good on other people, but they don't want it? So you're not going to be certain whether it's going to work out at all. You're going to start to notice that other people aren't sacrificing. And what I mean by that is like your family, your friends. They're kind of enjoying, I wouldn't want to say the good life, but they're going to be going to different events. They're going to be going out to the bars, or there's a birthday celebration. They're going to say like, hey, come on. But there's always something. Eventually, you're going to have to learn to say, I can't do this because I need to focus on my business. Because you don't want to do it like half-half. It's like, well, if I'm in it, I'm in it. Putting in all the sacrifice, I might as well do it. And they're enjoying themselves, which there's no right or wrong answer. Like you can enjoy your good times right now, or you can sacrifice, put it into the business, and enjoy later. You're going to be doing all the positions in your business. So even though when you start your business, you're like, I really like, in my example, working one-on-one with people and creating these vision mind maps. But that may not be everything that I do. I have to do social media. I have to do video recording, video editing. There's so many other aspects to this that I may not necessarily enjoy, but at this point in time, I don't have the income to justify paying somebody else to do it. So guess who it all falls on? That's me, right? So it just is what it is, and you gotta do it. So in my example, I was saying, yeah, doing social media. You got to also expect that people aren't going to be like your biggest fan right off the bat. People aren't going to be like commenting, loving it, saying, thank you, oh my gosh, this was so incredible, it's amazing. They just may watch it. You can take a look at the retention graph as to how long people watch it. May have nobody watch it. People click off. And you're like, wow, I put in so many hours. You can check out some of my past videos. I did one about Robert Downey Jr. Did so much amount of research, video editing, put in probably 20 hours, and it didn't come close to the amount that I thought it was going to get. And that's okay. And the thing is, like, you don't really know what people are thinking. So that's also a negative, because you're like, what is the audience thinking at this point? I only have the data, but you gotta ask some of your close friends, figure it out. But again, it's just a lot of time that goes into it, and you just gotta be consistent. Creating good content takes a lot of time, and as I mentioned, it doesn't seem like a lot of reward for based on how much aspects and skills that it takes. Like, would you ever think about having proper keywords so to make sure that the video is that can be searched and found and it's getting directed to the right people? Stuff that I wouldn't even think about. Now, when it comes down to networking with others, that can also be time intensive as well, because it's not just as simple as like, hey, I like your stuff, you like my stuff. It's, well, maybe you should watch their content to make sure that you can comment and help support them in the algorithm and get the conversation going. But that takes time to do. So if you're just doing it for the sake of metrics, you watch mine, I watch yours, that may not be the best fit. You want to, if I saw it from my case, I actually just want to watch content from people that I like and I like their stuff and help support them, not just any BS things, that isn't helpful. So do it because you truly like the person, not because you're just trying to get more numbers and boost yourself up. In my case, I offered stuff for free. I know it's valuable, and many people passed it up. So how am I supposed to deal with that? It's not easy, but don't take it personally, even though it could be disheartening. Because logically, you're thinking, I'm giving my time, I'm giving my service, and it's not even worth $0. Not even worth zero. It's less than that. It's not true, but that is what you can easily fall into that logical trap of. Also be cautious and don't go on too many side quests. I remind myself frequently, make sure that what I'm doing is going to either help out the client or the business. There are other things where, as I was building up my website, somebody told me like, wow, that's amazing. You did a great job. I'm like, thank you. Do you know that other people could really benefit? I'm like, maybe I should build websites for other companies in the meantime. But again, that's going to be a distraction. That is not my main purpose. That's not helping out my business, not helping out my clients. Focus on the main task at hand. So this is exactly what I was talking about, the distractions, the temptations of the side quests. You're also going to be tempted to throw more money into your business, even though you haven't found a good way to make the income yet. Example would be Facebook ads. Like everybody talks about like, ooh, Facebook ads, they're really effective and good. But if I'm not able to necessarily get my messaging just right, perfect, and also have clients that are generating me a lot of income, does that make sense to go on Facebook and then try to deliver those ads and pay for it? No, because like, what am I trying to get out of it? It's just too many things going on. Focus on one thing and don't try to just dump money for the sake of putting in money. A lot of this is going to be obvious, but you're going to give up your free time. You're going to give up your free time. It may even cause you to choose between certain hobbies and even relationships as well. You got to be willing to make that sacrifice, and that one is a hard one. Now, when it comes down to social media, you may be tempted to switch platforms, and that is going to cause you to lose a lot of momentum. So I talked to a few people about this, and it was an interesting perspective that people are lurking. They are watching. They may not necessarily engage. They may not like. They may not comment, but they're kind of like eyeing and seeing what you're doing. So don't try to sell them right away and expect them to be your biggest fan overnight, because it takes time. Similar to any relationship or even a friendship. You don't go up to like a bro and be like, yo man, you're so cool. Now let's just all of a sudden take a bro trip down to Florida, to Miami. He's like, whoa, way too soon. Now, as you begin to progress and do all that and hang out, then yeah, eventually you can take a bro trip. Cool. But you don't suggest that right away. Same thing applies to the audience. They're looking to see, what are you doing? Are you, what kind of value? Are you serious about it? Are you even worth investing their time more? Because if you're just going to fall off the face of the earth after like 2 more days, then not the face of the earth, knock on wood, but stop creating content, then why should they invest in getting to know you and what you have to say? You're going to feel overwhelmed. You're not going to be sure if you're on the right path and if what you're doing is taking you in the right direction, because maybe you're wrong. You may have to pivot. You'll be thinking, in my case, I was like, should I be on Instagram? Should I be on LinkedIn? But that also can be a positive when you get to try it out and you become confident as to which platform you feel the best in. When you tell people around you about your business, they're going to be enthusiastic. They're going to give you those positive, quick comments. But don't expect them to truly help you out and be in your corner, because you're going to be on your own. It's really nice and it's such a huge blessing if they're wanting to help you out in any way possible. But in reality, it's just going to be you. as much as it hurts to say it's going to be you, but if you can get somebody that is in your corner that can help you out, they are worth their weight in gold. Do not take that for granted at all. In fact, in my case, I had to tell a few people like, hey, I feel really alone in this. I need some more support, even if it's not from a business aspect, just helping me, reassuring me, whatever it can be. That was really key, and that helped me out. Because they stepped up. They're like, oh man, I didn't know you were feeling that way. Absolutely, I'd love to help you. And I was like, thanks. Many people, when you describe that to them, won't understand your vision. They may not see it. And that makes you feel even further alone, especially if you don't have the finances or clients to back it up. If you're very ultra successful, you're picking up a lot of clients, you're like, hey, yeah, look at this. Then you feel more confident telling people, and they're like, okay, well, clearly you must know what you're talking about. But if you are saying, this is my vision, this is what I'm doing, and they're like, well, how's it going so far? And you're like, they're going to be like, well, yeah, good luck. So another technique is I was asking random people for help. Like I go on LinkedIn, and it wasn't that effective. What even hurt worse was they say, don't just simply ask, provide value. So I try to bring value, and I'd just be left unread. Like I'd create a video for somebody. I did research. I created this nice video for them. Didn't expect anything in return. Well, I guess I kind of still wanted to connect and talk or just have a great network connection, but no, they didn't want anything with that. I'd ask other people, what can I do? Still nothing. So that is where it can get, I'm sure there's ways on how to do that properly, but just in my case, wasn't effective and it wasn't worth the time. So I stopped doing that. Now, you may have a ton of questions when it comes to setting up your business, your website, because this is all new. How are you supposed to know? And people that have been in this for a long time are going to make it seem like it's so extremely easy. What are you talking about? You just register here, you do that. But don't be embarrassed to ask the extra questions and say it doesn't make sense and do the research and still not feel comfortable and confident going through this process. You're not alone. Happened to me. If I had to redo it again, I'd probably still have the same questions and be like, so don't feel like you're a failure, that you're dumb. A helpful tip is to get a mentor or collaborate with some other people, ask them for advice. But even though they can be very helpful and it's amazing when they give their time, it's nowhere close to the amount, of work that you're going to have to put in. You're on your own, kid. Like it's all on you. They can give like little tidbits here and there, and you're left in the ocean drowning. Like, what am I supposed to do? How is this supposed to work? They're not going to really have all the answers. And then you try to go online, and you're like, okay, what about on YouTube? What about this? And then they give you a ton more stuff, and you're not sure whether this information is going to be helpful or not. It's going to take time to implement what they're suggesting. It's on you. You got to figure it out. And it can be extra difficult figuring out who's your target audience? What value are you providing? How to explain it extremely quickly and concisely so that people understand it? How much to charge? What are the best platforms to do this? The list goes on. All right, so we talked about some of the negative aspects. Let's talk about the positive, because that was a lot. I'm still scrolling up here right now, but let's talk about the good, the positives. What were the things I enjoyed and I did well? First thing was that I tested my product, my service, and I got testimonials. I made sure that was good. I didn't want to necessarily assume that everybody's going to love my product, my thing, because it could just me wanting to deliver my service and make me feel good, but is it a good market fit? So I had to test it, and I feel great about that. And again, I help people stop overthinking, kick bad habits, see measurable progress through vision mind mapping. Obviously, this whole process takes a lot of time, and that's actually a positive. Let me explain to you why. Not many people are cut out for this. I'm at the 6-month mark. It's not certain that it's going to pan out and be successful the way that I'm hoping for. I'm putting in that bet. But at the same time, other people won't know either, and they're having to go through it. And they say a certain amount of businesses fail within the first year. Well, some of it comes down to the financial aspect, but then also from just being able to keep going. So as long as you can stick it out, grind it out, not give up, make progress, you're indirectly kind of eliminating your competition and you're rising above. So if you're also truly passionate about it, that's a major bonus as well, knowing that you're helping people. It doesn't have to be the sole focus, the only thing, but it can give you the motivation when you're feeling down on a lot of days and you're questioning whether to keep going. Another aspect is to realize that things are way different than they were 30 years ago. Now, people talk about inflation, definitely true, but also the workplace environment is so much different. There's working from home, but back in the past, you'd work 30 years, loyal to a job, get the pension, great. Now, jobs can fire you at a moment's notice. Hey, we're family, we're all, by the way, you're not coming in tomorrow. What? And that's the unfortunate truth. So I want to find a way to make an income without relying on an employer. I see so many people that they're applying for a job, they're smart, they're intelligent, they provide value, and they're effectively spending all their time applying, doing interviews, and just begging to have a job. But what if you can have a way where it's like, all right, I'm going to work directly with the client without relying for a middleman? Like not a company, nothing. It's me. I have the formula. I'm working directly. You pay me directly or I pay somebody else directly. That is a cool feeling. And that's what a company is a different company found out how to do the transactions, the business, had a formula, and now they just scaled it up. And now you're like, hey, I would like to be a little small piece in that formula, and then you give me a guaranteed money back for salary. Well, what if you can create that formula and work directly with people and be that person? So that's what I'm looking at. I'm excited about it because I don't want to be relying necessarily on older age and have a 401k. I'm building towards it. I'm hoping for it. It's a backup plan, but I don't want it to be my full entire dependency when I know that I can take steps right now to secure my financial future, have a lot more flexibility. I'm willing to sacrifice now and not be in a position where I'm begging my employer to keep me or to go to a different job and beg them to give me a job. It's like, I'm just going to sacrifice right now. I'm going to use the income that I have from my job currently, have it pay my bills, and now have a little bit of breathing room to now take the time to work on my business. I think that is a great approach. At least that's what I'm doing. So I'm working hard now to get the benefits later. And what if, like, obviously if my business does really well financially, I'm improved. I got more options. I got more peace of mind. I don't have to just rely on my investments or anything else. Like, I took action and I did it. So start now, and it's going to reduce the extra pressures that'll come up if in the unfortunate event something happens down the line, knock on wood. So that requires building up an emergency fund, having, they say, 6 months of living expenses just in case something happens, gives you that cushion, less stress. And then again, in the case, like, knock on wood, if it would ever be like fired, then it's like, all right, I have some buffer. Do I want to keep on working on the business and like be able to ramp it up a little bit to then my living expenses is covered that way? Do I then find a different job and get my bills paid that way? But at least that emergency fund is a key component of it. It also provides more meaning and purpose for the job that I'd be doing because it's no longer just paying my bills, it's helping me escape the 9 to 5. Another key component is social media is accessible to everyone. Now, why is that a big deal? It's because TV used to be a big deal for advertising and getting your product out there. And then, well, where's everybody's attention now? It's on their phone. It's on social media. That's where advertisements are. Well, you can create organic content. You can talk about a specific topic, be a real expert, provide value, and then you build up the following. That's like free advertising. Building it up does take time. With the coming up of AI, that's also something scary because like a lot of jobs can get replaced. But what about on social media? My theory is that people are going to want that human-to-human connection. In the Matrix, and if you haven't seen the movie, it's like, all right, you're kind of like plugged in and you're in the Matrix and it's this simulation. Well, it can't be 100% perfect because the humans would know that it's a simulation. So they had to introduce some little variables, some imperfections, so that humans could accept it. I think the same thing will apply. I don't want to necessarily go online and be like, give me the perfect solution to this human problem that I have. Because they'll be like, here you go, so simple and easy. It's like, all right, I want somebody else that's gone through this. I want their unique story. I want to have that vibe. And I think that is where AI is not going to be able to do that, or it'll take a long amount of time. So by going on social media where it's available for everybody, doesn't cost anything, just need your phone, you can do it and have that advertising and build up your client base. So take advantage of that opportunity. But as the time progresses, there's going to be more content out there, more people doing the same thing, and they're going to get better at it. Because as the years progress, they're just going to refine it. They're going to figure out what works, what doesn't. So it's better to start now rather than later. And this can be helpful to anything that you're trying to do, because even if you're like comfortable in your job, you're doing that, just get on social media, get ahead of the curve, learn these skills, know what it's all about, build up that following, and get a head start. So similar to me, I've been doing that. It helped me learn a lot of new skills. And ironically, it also helped me improve in different aspects of my life. Because certain interactions that I'd have with people on a day-to-day basis, I'm like, why are they behaving that way? Why does it not feel as authentic, as genuine, warm vibes? Well, by now doing more of the sales and communicating with people, I can see things through a different lens. And then when I talk to those past situations or connections I have, I'm like, okay, this makes more sense. It's a little bit of an indirect way, but it's still a skill that helps out and carries over in many other areas. Another thing I learned is that everybody's dealing with problems and struggles. Okay, no surprise. But the big thing is they think that they can handle it, that they can overcome it. And it is your responsibility to find out how to convince them or persuade them that your solution can help them out. That is worth giving money to you versus them battling this on their own. And if it's a scam or you can't really do the value, then that's a different conversation. I would say don't do that. That's unethical. It's a scam, not good. But if you know that your solution does provide value, very beneficial, and that money is minor in comparison to the benefit that they are going to get, it falls on you to explain it. So it can be in the form of solving their problem outright, saving time. That's a big part. And that leads us into communication. Got to do it better. I'm learning how to communicate better. Even in this video, it's long. I can maybe make it be more concise. But when you get on a call with a client, when you are discussing to people, your friends, they're like, what do? You have to have a clear-cut description, what you're doing, your offer. And that can be really hard. Sounds easy, very challenging. And I noticed that when other people start to pitch me, they're like, hey, I do this, I do that. I'm like, dude, get to the point. What do you do? Like, I can say yes or no, but at this point, it's an instant no because I don't even know what the heck you're doing. At this point, already discussed about retirement account. Don't want to necessarily wait and risk it later on. I want to take action now. And I want to create a formula, valuable, generates income. And there are countless millionaires out there in the world. Why not me? I was thinking about this with at the time of recording, Bitcoin's going to the moon, and I could have gotten in super cheap. I just kicked myself. I could have gone in for so much cheap, made a 10x. But even with a 10x, I would still not be a millionaire. So how is it that these other people, business people, are able to make millions of dollars? But for me, I'm trying to think about and I'm fantasizing this one investment that could have done 10x, incredible, amazing, and still would not even get me to the place where I'd want to be. So it's more important that I focus on my business and not on the shoulda, woulda, couldas in my investment, because who knows? Probably if I invested in Bitcoin, I could have really fumbled the bag. I would have. I know I would have just completely messed up. It's like going to a casino. You bet on something and you're like, oh, I'm up so high, and then you still end up losing because the casino's like, we're going to get our money back from you anyway, so don't worry about it. Another positive aspect is because it is so hard, that is why most people quit. So I'm going to keep on going, be consistent, make sure that I don't get burnt out, because there are certain content styles and things that we're doing that really just burn me out. Not worth it. But as long as I keep on doing this, I'm indirectly being my competition. And try different platforms. If you're starting off at the beginning and you want to build up that consistency, have people know who you are, well, first off, try the different ones. See which one works for you. Make sure that's sustainable, something that you can continue doing for the months and years to come. There are certain platforms and content styles that I'm not a fan of. Maybe I'll do it just because I believe in providing the value and get the message out there. But at this point in time, like, nope, swerve, not doing that one. But that's where having the luxury of time is extremely beneficial. Don't base your worth, your self-worth, on the number of followers and subscribers that you have. So many people are looking to just build up the number of the follow base because they think, yes, I'm doing something. But if they are not buying your service or your product, they're not reaching out to you, they're not big fans, what are you doing? Then it's just a number. It's just a big number showing how popular you are. But it's pointless. I'd rather have 100 people that absolutely love what I'm providing, what I'm doing, than 100,000 or a million that just know my face. Now you could argue like, well, if somebody knows your face, you got the attention, you could really monetize on it. Sure, I get that. But just straight up, if somebody's like, oh, haha, that's funny, and that's it, like you create a meme and there's no way to monetize off of it, it's pointless. It's pointless. I want people that are big fans. By doing this, in terms of building your own business, you understand the world a little bit better. So even when I'm scrolling on Instagram, I see an ad targeting me and they have this one specific hook. I'm like, oh, I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing. And it becomes a little bit more obvious just how everything is people selling to one another. It doesn't even have to be a service or a product. It could just be somebody trying to convince you to do something. It's like a form of persuasion. The cool thing is once you have your formula, something that works, provides value, people are willing to pay you for it, and you're net positive, you can start to scale it up and really ramp it up. And that is the key point I want to get to, because then you can also hire others. You can say, I can get my time back. I can just have just the system that works, get my time back. You can reinvest it, do it back into advertisements, train other people. That's where the fun begins. So after all that, let's talk about, is it still worth it? And my answer is yes. Now, it's not a strong yes where I'm like, oh my gosh, you have to. But in my situation, it is worth it, and here's why. If I didn't do this, I'd be stuck in the same loop. Not like a Groundhog's Day, because stuff always changes, but I'd be doing the same hobbies, talking to the same people, doing the same thing. And eventually, like, it's a good life. I'd enjoy it, but I want something more. I want to build something more. And it's better to take on these difficulties now and achieve what I want so that I can have a better future. There's no wrong or right way as to when to enjoy this fun time. It's up to you, but I'd rather sacrifice now and get more later. Most people aren't willing to take on these extra struggles, so in the future, they may face harder times. And through this journey, it's helping me grow in my business, my skills, and my way of thinking. So overall, 6 months in, I think it's really cool. I like it. It's not easy, but it's good. It's worth it.
Is it worth it? Oh yeah, it's worth it. If you're strong enough.
So, if you found this video to be helpful, you can do me a favor. Just like this video, comment, let me know what point resonated with you the most. Is this just a me thing? Am I going rogue here? Or are you like, you know what, Mark? You bring up some good points. Thank you, sir. That's really all I got for you. I'll see you in the next video. Peaces.